Good morning, everybody. From a wonderful Friday morning out here in Nacala. We're just on our way to work, so I thought I'd record the main road leaving town. It's obviously still a lot of work to do on the infrastructure. As you can see, the conditions of the roads. We are approaching the end of winter, so hopefully we'll get some rain soon, which will settle all this dust. So I think in my previous videos you have seen this section of road, and yeah, it's all very nice. As you can see, motorcycles there on the right, down in the front there, over here. Motorcycles play a very big role in Nacala for passenger transport, moto taxis as we call them. So they all line up here outside the market. And if anybody needs a taxi service, well, you got the motorcycles. So these guys have a law unto themselves. And they buy these leaf-ons and they strip them down, and yeah, no indicators, no lights, no mirrors. Scary stuff. But here's the market. And fresh produce comes in from all the surrounding areas for sale in the fresh produce market. Remarkably cheaper than buying from the chain stores. And generally it's quite a thriving economy. And you've got guys on bicycles carrying coal, as you can see up here on the right. Guy on his bicycle with one bag. And you get guys, you see here, all the coal here on the bicycles on the right of me, bringing the coal in from the outlying areas by bicycle, by motorbike. And it goes for about, a big bag like that goes for about 250 meticash, which is what, about $50, if that much, maybe $40, somewhere around there. And unfortunately, due to the electrical distribution here, not everybody has access to electricity. And for the poorer communities, electricity would be expensive. So they do all their cooking and warming on coal fires. You don't see the coal pollution so much here in the city, but when you travel outside of town, especially in the low-lying areas, you'll see how the smog sits down in the cold mornings. So yeah, this is our way to work on a Friday morning. The biggest problem we have with a single road out of town is the trucking industry. It's not so bad this morning, but when a vessel comes into port, then these roads are congested because all the warehousing and the bonded warehouses are mostly along this road. So you'll have hundreds of trucks on this road. Some of them are disciplined and they do park off the tarmac, but then there's a lot of spaces on this road that there's no way a truck can pull off. So they just end up parking on the side of the tarmac, and then you end up from a double road going into a single road. Whoopee! Let's go, let's go! Lovely being out on a cold winter's morning. Well, can't say cold, it's like 21 degrees. Got a jersey on. Come on, uncle. Come on, uncle. You can sleep at home. Sleep at home. I hope the sound of the exhaust is coming through on the video. That would sound epic. Oh, I love the sound of this Republic exhaust. It's got such a nice growl to it. I was watching some YouTube videos on how to take the baffle out. Just not sure what it's going to sound like afterwards. And I suppose if I don't like it, I can put the baffle back in. Loud pipes save lives. You know, if guys hear you coming, they're aware of you. And it definitely minimizes the danger on the road. Unfortunately, you just got too many people existing unconsciously. They're on autopilot. Sometimes the sound of a motorcycle is what saves you, especially in traffic. I know when I was a car driver, a motorist, I used to get really miffed with these guys in the traffic with their loud exhausts, especially if you're chilling in the morning on your way to work and you got this guy just fucking blast your eardrums out. I really didn't appreciate it then. But since I've been a motor enthusiast for the last 30 years, you can appreciate why they do it. Because you hear him, you know he's there, and then you start looking in your mirrors. And that's one of the fears that I have with these electric motorbikes, is you're not going to hear them. And if you don't hear a motorcycle, you don't know he's there. Thing is, with a car, you can afford to get rubbed up a little bit and suffer a little bit of traffic damage, a bump here and a bump there, and a couple of scratches on the bodywork of a car. Unfortunately, on a motorbike, that is not good, because you don't have the luxury of a protective cage. You know, a rub here and a rub there, you're going to be on the tarmac. You are going to fall off. The worst thing is to fall off in traffic, because inevitably someone will drive over you, or you fall into the oncoming traffic, and that is even worse. So yeah, you really have to have all your senses engaged while you're on a motorcycle. Makes you alive, man. You ride alive, wide awake, all senses heightened. So here you have all the workers on the side of the road. These are casual workers. You see the trucks are all pulling in. You see all the trucks on my right. So on the left you have a lot of day workers. They're all just sitting around hoping to earn a little bit of money by offloading all these trucks manually. Most of it is bags of wheat, bags of maize coming into the mill. So yeah, it's tough life for these guys that rely on a day-to-day existence. And there's the ladies carrying water and carrying their wares to the market. They've all got buckets on their heads. So they'll basically do cooking during the course of the night. It's like a fat cook. It's like a dough that's deep fried. It becomes like a hard crusted bread in a way. South Africa will call it a fat cook. And then they cook lots of those during the course of the night, and in the daytime they will sell them to these workers. So these workers will go out, earn 100 meticals a day, which is divided by 60, $1.50 a day. And then obviously they will try and feed themselves, so the money keeps circulating. And this is one of the reasons why the banks will not be able to go cashless in Mozambique. People need cash. You'll see here on the side these boards here, immerse and immola. It's like a cell phone currency. You can trade money on your cell phone. So I can pay you from my cell phone onto their cell phone. And if you want to draw it, you go to the ATM and you draw it. But cash is king here. So the quicker the rest of the world wake up and realize that by going electronic and only using POS cards, the banks get their interest. And who's making money? It's the bank. Everybody loses. You know, here, a $100 note will keep its value as a $100 note as it floats around the economy. But the moment you put that $100 in the bank, zip, out comes charges and interests and account charges and this and that. You go and draw it, you're only going to get $92. Then you give that to the next guy, and by the time he draws it, it's $80-something. And by the 6th or the 7th transaction, the bank owns the $100. So be very, very careful, people. Be very, very careful. Anyway, I'm about to put into work. And here I am. So, hey, Senna. stop recording. Hey, Senna, stop recording. Bom dia. Como está? Estou bem, tudo de noite, tá bom? Obrigado. Bom trabalho.